is Secret Mom Hacks, episode number 17. My name is Krista, and I am your host. It's May 31st, 2023, and today's show is another short episode covering just a few highlights from the last couple of weeks' worth of parenting news. So I've scoured parenting headlines over the past month to bring a few key news items that I believe are relevant to us as parents. But before we jump into these stories, I just want to say thanks for tuning in, Mama. I started this podcast because babies don't come with instructions. As of this recording, I'm chasing around a 4.5-year-old that no amount of Googling, mom groups, or what to expect when you're expecting books were able to prepare me for. There's a lot of stuff people don't talk about when it comes to pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, and postpartum. And as someone who was previously terrified of all of the above, I'm here to help you pull back the curtain on all of it. And every now and then, it may get a little messy. We may share a little TMI, but that's why you're here, right? My goal is that you'll leave every episode feeling refreshed, inspired, and hopeful, knowing you are not on this mom journey alone. Now, there's a lot of subject matter to cover when it comes to mom life, and we are covering it all. So let's roll forward with these key news stories. So spring may have sprung, but summer is definitely just around the corner. Our pool just opened about 2 weeks ago, and the weather's getting warmer. Folks are starting to spend much more time outside, in water, near water, and with all of that, of course, we're starting to see many more headlines about water safety, whether it's swimming or fishing or water play, all of those things. I've come across several articles that I think are super important for parents to read. The first one was on today.com. And this story is called Why You Shouldn't Rely on Floaties or Water Wings for Kids. I think that's something that a lot of parents do, and these experts talk about why that is a really bad idea. Most specifically, and I'm quoting from this article, a floaty doesn't teach a child any kind of skills for learning how to swim because they're vertical in the water, and in many cases, a floaty can pop. Now, that news story was posted just a few weeks ago. I'm going to link to all of these stories in the show notes, so make sure you check them out to read the stories in full to help us keep our kids safe. That article actually led me to another article that's come out within the last few years, but it came out in June. It's very relevant. I found it on scarymommy.com. And the title of this piece is I Investigate Drownings, and here are 10 things everyone should know about water safety. Natalie Livingston is a drowning investigator, and she's been a lifeguard for 25 plus years. And in this article, she goes over 10 super important things as it relates to drowning and keeping our kids safe in or near pools and bodies of water. One thing I think is really important that she covers, she talks about doing safety briefings with her children quickly before they get in the water. How many of us go to the pool and we get all sunscreened, we get, whether it's the floaty or a inner tube or whatever it is, a float, and we just jump on in the water, right? And all we say is be careful. Natalie talks about key things that you should cover in a safety briefing with your children before they ever enter the water. She also talks about depths of water versus height. She talks about the importance of not being distracted. She talks about designating break time. So after everyone has been swimming for maybe 35 minutes or so, get everybody out for a quick 10-15 minutes and just chill. Get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, have a snack, and then it's okay to jump back in. But breaks are hugely important to keep everyone safe. And then she goes on, as I mentioned, there are 10 total tips that she recommends all parents need to know about water safety. The next story I want to share with you is a Newsweek piece that ran on May 15th. I thought this was brilliant. The title of the story is Mom's Parenting Hack to Tire Out Kids Using YouTube, labeled Genius. Aviva is a mom of 3 kiddos, and she shared a video on TikTok a couple of weeks ago that has gone completely viral, sharing a parenting tip to help keep her kiddos entertained. Not only does it keep them entertained, it also physically tires them out and they don't even realize that's happening. So her 3 children who have ADHD, she told Newsweek that this life-changing discovery is now one of her favorite hacks to tire out her kiddos. So in this video, her children can be seen jumping around, super excited, while trying to finish a game that is on the TV. What they don't realize is that it's actually a recording from someone else's game. So their efforts make no difference. But this is something that Aviva hopes they don't realize. So I think this is super brilliant. Definitely a hack that I'm going to try with my kiddo. I think this is something we could all try, because how many of us have had one of those days where we're trying to sit and take a minute, or maybe we just need to be productive while having our kiddos occupied and they're really just in the mix of things. And so I think this is a great way that we can keep them entertained while also getting some great bursts of energy. So kudos to Aviva. I think that is awesome. The next story I want to share with you is an NBC News story that ran on May 10th. And this piece talks about how postpartum hemorrhage is the leading cause of maternal mortality worldwide. And they go on to say that new research suggests pairing a low-cost device with a quick bundle of treatments to stop blood loss. So this simple treatment is something that could save 22,000 new mothers' lives every year, according to scientists. So definitely check out that piece. Whether you already have some kiddos and you're planning to have another baby, or maybe you're pregnant, I think this is an important story for all of us to read. The next story I want to share today is from USA Today. It was published May 11th, and the title of this piece is "Skin Patch for Toddlers with Peanut Allergies Could Offer Parents Peace of Mind." Now, I think this is brilliant. So lots of kiddos have nut allergies and peanut allergies in particular, and this story talks about how there is a skin patch, just like your smoking patch, your stress patch, your nausea patch, all the patches that are out there. Now they have patches for kiddos who have peanut allergies. So this study about this patch was published in the New England Journal of Medicine, and the USA Today story covers it. So definitely check it out. If your kiddo has a nut allergy, this may be something that could be really beneficial for you. And then the final story I want to touch on today is from The Guardian, and this came out Sunday, May 21st. And the title of this story is "Exhausted, Disconnected, and Fed Up. What is parental burnout and what can you do about it?" I think this is such an important topic. All of these podcast episodes, I end it talking about the importance of drinking water, taking a quick walk, making time for yourself, having that little bit of self-care, because if we're not taking care of ourselves, we cannot take care of our loved ones. So this news story talks about all that. It talks about the 4 signs of parental burnout. It covers 4 positive things that we as parents can do to prevent or reduce burnout when we're already stretched so thinly. So I think this is a very relevant, timely, important note to end on for today's episode. I think it's definitely a news story that you should check out if you haven't seen it yet. So once again, all of these stories are linked in the show notes for this episode. So make sure you check that out if any of these stories resonated with you and you want to dive deeper. So with self-care in mind, as we are wrapping up this episode, I'm going to reiterate, it is super hard to take care of those we love if we're not taking care of ourselves. So just sharing that quick, gentle reminder to drink some water, make time for that quick walk around your office, your home, whatever, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you can get in 30 minutes, amazing. Anything you can do to just get that heart rate up, make you sweat a little bit, that is awesome. Don't forget to wash your face, put on a nice overnight moisturizer before you slip into bed, and always remember that sunscreen in the morning. Your skin is going to thank you. I really appreciate you spending some time with me today. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a 5-star rating and leave a review sharing your favorite takeaway so far. Make sure you stop by secretmomhacks.com, where you can find transcripts, resources, and more. Stay tuned for next week's episode, and until then, you've got this, mama.